Ch Sri Sagrajadam Sagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Satvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Cha He Krishna
Hare
Karuna
Krishna,
Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate
Pate,
Gopesha Gopika
Gopika, Gopika,
Kanta
Kanta,
Radha Kanta Namostude
Namaste.
तप्त कांचन गौरंगी
Gaurangi,
राधे
Devi,
वृंदावनीश्वरी
Vanishwari, Vishvabhanu,
ऋषभानुसुते
Sute,
देवी
Devi,
प्रणमामि
Hari
हरिप्रिये
Priye, Vancha Kalpa,
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा
Tarubhyascha, Kripa
सिन्धुभैव
Sindhu,
च
Devicha,
पतितानां
Patitanam,
पावनेभ्यो
Pavanebhyo,
वैष्णवेभ्यो
Vaishnavibhyo,
नमो
Namo
नमः
Namah.
जय श्री
Jai Shri
कृष्ण
Krishna
चैतन्य प्रभु
Chaitanya Prabhu
नित्यानंद
Nityananda
श्री
Shri
अद्वैत
Advaita
गदाधर
Gadadhara Shri
श्रीवासादि
Vasada
गौर
Gaura
भक्त
Bhakti
वृंद
Vrinda
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna
हरे
Krishna
हरे
Hare Hare
हरे
Hare
हरे
Rama Hare
राम
Rama
राम राम
Rama
हरे
Rama Hare
हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare Krishna Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna
कृष्ण कृष्ण
Krishna
हरे
Krishna
हरे
Hare Hare
हरे
Hare Rama
हरे
Hare
राम
Rama
राम राम
Rama
हरे
Rama Hare
हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
हरे
Hare Hare,
हरे
Hare
हरे
Rama,
राम
Hare Rama,
राम राम
Rama
हरे
Hare Hare.
हरे Okay, just we'll recite this verse also all together. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं
नित्यं
भागवतसेवया
भगवत्सेवया
भगवती
भगवती
उत्तमश्लोके
उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति
भक्तिर्भवति
नैष्टिकी
नैष्ठिकी
कृष्णाय
कृष्णाय
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय
देवकी
देवकी
नन्दनाय च
नन्दनाय च नन्द
नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओके Hare Krishna. Again, welcome all. So, as I said, yeah. So I will first start with some of the questions which we discussed earlier. Mm, one of them, I think Vinay Prabhu was asking, but probably when he's there, I will try to give that. Another point which came up last week was regarding the Sarika Bhashya, right? I think Kajal Mataji was asking about that. So I think that time, I think Prabhu also was highlighting. So that is basically the commentary of Vedanta Sutra. So I did some research on that. So it is basically a commentary on Vedanta Sutra by Adi Shankara Acharya. So there, the Sarika actually means the embodied self. Okay, so like Sarira means body. So it's an embodied self, and Bhashya generally means commentary. Bhashya means commentary. So this is the commentary which deals, with the nature of self bondage and liberation. So basically, it's on the foundation of Advaita philosophy. So they call Advaita Vada, the philosophy or doctrine which Adi Shankaracharya brought in. So basically, to say Advaita means oneness. So that means, only Brahman is there. So this world is everything Maya, only Brahman is suitable. We are also Brahman. So the oneness it's talking about. So Advaita philosophy talks about that. Next, in the same category on Vedanta Sutra, there is something called Sri Bhashya. This is from Sri Vaishnava, right? So Sri Vaishnava is established by Ramanujacharya, right? So they talk about Vishishta Advaita. Their commentary is based on Vishishta Advaita. That is a qualified oneness. Vishishta means a qualified oneness. So they are saying it's not oneness. There is a little difference between Jiva and God. And for them, for instance, Adi Shankara is talking about impersonalism, whereas Ramanujacharya is talking about personalism. So Lord Narayan, so that's the Brahman is the supreme Brahman is Lord Narayan as per Sri Vaishnava. And then comes up the what is that? The Kumara Sambardaya headed by Nimbarka. So they talk about that Jiva and Brahma are both different and non-different. So they talk about Dvaita Advaita. So again they talk about Dvaita means duality, not oneness, duality. But they're saying their duality is there, but oneness and difference. So that's what is the Nimbarka Sambardaya talks about. And next comes about the Madhava Bhashya. So Madhava Sambardaya talks specifically about Dvaita, that is duality. So Madhava also gave a Bhashya, which has commentary to the Vedanta Sutra. So that there he talks about dualism, so eternal, so difference between the God and the soul is God, soul, and matter is very nicely established there in Madhava Sambardaya, duality. And then that is in the 13th century. Then later on comes the Rudra Sambardaya, which is Vishnu Swami. Actually, Vishnu Swami has not written any commentary on Vedanta Sutra, but his followers like Vallabhacharya. So, in fact, if you know that Pushtimar came through from Vallabhacharya, so they have written a Anubhashya related to this. So they talk about pure, they talk about Suddha Dvaita, they talk about pure dualism. So this is how it happened. In fact, then comes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, and then this Madhava, what to say, Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sambardaya came. For them, they did not have any, what to say, Bhashya, commentary on Vedanta Sutra until 18th century. So everyone is saying every Sambardaya has a commentary on Vedanta Sutra, but you people have not written a commentary. So then Baladev Vidyabhushan in the 17th or the 18th century, he writes a commentary that's called Govinda Bhashya. So there he uses the philosophy which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu promulgated, like Achinta Beda Abeda Tattva. That is inconceivably oneness and difference. So that's the natural, and all this what to say, the lineage from, in fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also propagated the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam only. In fact, he also didn't write anything. He has written only Sikshtastakam, 8 verses of thing. So he spread only Hare Krishna movement and Achinta Beda Beda Tattva. But what I'm saying is, for Gaudiya Sambardaya, the Govinda Bhashyam is the one. All right, this is a brief about that. And I think Retu Mataji, she was asking a couple of things. She's not there. She's gone to India, she told me. So I already answered her on that. Sukadev Goswami, when was Bhagavatam given to Sukadeva Goswami? So that's coming actually in the 7th chapter, when one of the questions of the sages asking about the history of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. In the 4th chapter, they asked the question. That answer is coming in the 7th chapter. And she also asked about the perfect scientific process of perfect devotional service. So this is going to come in today's class. There's a sequence from Shraddha to Prema. So there's a verses 16 to 21. We are going to talk about that. So this is briefly on some of the questions previously asked. So I would suggest it's better this way. We take up any questions, you can just put in the chat so that we can discuss before the class. So more clarity will be there on focused on that. So I don't want to rush through the question and answers there. Anything in between discussion, what I'm explaining, if you have any doubt, that you can always ask. That's nothing. Any philosophical questions, anything on those related things, we will have a discussion like this. All right. Mataji, you want to share now? So any questions till now what I've explained?
Prabhuji, sorry, just quickly, it says host disabled.
Yeah. You can request there. Usually the request comes.
Request actually. It just said host disabled.
I'm not getting your request.
Yeah, Prabhuji, so it's not letting me request. When I press screen share, it just says host disabled participant screen sharing. So maybe you can go to settings or something. And there you can allow me or something.
1 second.
Sure. with Zoom.
Try now.
Sorry.
Try now.
Okay, I'll try. Yeah, it still says host disabled.
I didn't change any settings. You used to do it. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. Today we'll do. Prashant Prabhu, you want to try? Last time you got it.
What, Prabhuji?
No, Vinay Prabhu is not here. You want to share that Veda base?
Veda base. Okay,
versus?
yeah, okay.
Just you try
Okay.
from your end.
Yeah, I will.
I didn't change any settings for today's class.
But Prabhuji, I'm not sure what happened. So sorry.
No, that's fine.
Okay, I will share.
Oh, yeah, I think the same
It's
issue
not
for you
turned
also.
on.
Yeah, I got it for you now. Yeah, I turned it on now.
Okay, yeah, I can see that now. Yeah.
Yeah. Now your request came. Unfortunately, Kajal Mataj, your request didn't come. I don't know why.
Yes, Prabhuji, it actually didn't let me request. It
Oh,
just
you
said,
didn't let you request itself.
it just said, okay, just press OK. Like there wasn't an option to request. Maybe
Okay.
I am not logged in or something. Maybe it's
Yeah, maybe that way.
next time I'll try to log in.
That's fine. All right. Yeah, go to verse number go to verse number 6. You go to the main page of this chapter. No, this is you're in first chapter. You go to chapter 2. Yeah, just only the English version. Yeah, go down to 6. So this is the important verse which we saw. So it talks about Parodharma, right? So the supreme most occupation. Maybe you can go to the verse, Prabhu. Yeah. So savai pumsa parodharma yato bhaktir adoshaka ayituki apatriyata ye atmana suprasiditi. So parodharma basically talks about the supreme most occupation. So it's actually referring to bhakti yoga here, meaning hearing and chanting. That's the main process of bhakti yoga. So basically here some of the acharya says then also there is yato bhakti adok shakti. So there again bhakti is also coming. Paro dharma is referring to bhakti yoga, and again this bhakti is coming to ado shakra. So what acharya is saying is the first paro dharma is talking about the sadhana bhakti which once we are doing, and only means of attaining the final bhakti which is to the Lord. So that is the prema bhakti. So from sadhana bhakti leading to prema bhakti. So for that, what are the two conditions here given? Hayetuki and apratihata. So what is hayetuki? Anyone? Just 1 second. Cold here.
Causeless.
Yep.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's causeless. That means unmotivated. So bhakti that rises without any cause. And apratihata means
Unbroken.
Unflinching, unbroken.
unbroken. Yes, uninterrupted. Exactly. So it cannot be prevented by anything. So it also means that prema bhakti, if one attains the prema bhakti at that level, so even the jnana and karma will not contaminate that. So your true love will be there. It's like the love that a mother shows to a child. So it's something like that. So that's verse number 1.26. Yeah, let's go to the next verse, Prabhu. So what next verse is talking about what one gets, by doing bhakti. What is that is told? So what bhakti produces in you? Two things is given here.
One immediately acquires causes knowledge and detachment from the world.
Exactly. Vairagyam and jnanam. So the third line and the first word in that. So it immediately gives you the knowledge and detachment. So knowledge and detachment from what? Detachment from material goals and knowledge of the Lord. Even it is said it is devoid of all the desire for liberation. Okay, so this is 1.27. Next, we'll do a quick revision of this. 1.28. So 1.28 talks about Varnashra Dharma, right? So why bhakti not considered to be parodharma? What's the difference? The occupational activities, generally a man's performs according to one position. That's referring to the Varnashra Dharma, right? Why is Varnadra Dharma not considered as parodharma, the highest occupation? Can it be considered or cannot it be considered?
If there is a bhakti, then it is considered like okay, otherwise it is useless.
What do you mean bhakti?
Like whatever we are doing,
Hmm.
it should, like Krishna should be center.
Exactly.
Then,
Yes.
then it
Yes.
will be like okay, otherwise it
Yes.
is useless.
It is useless. Exactly. That's what. If you do a Varnashra Dharma, you based on your position, guna and karma, you perform your occupation with having Krishna as the
Krishna.
center. If you don't Krishna as the center, but only for sense gratification, you do your occupation for doing this, the highest principle is serving Krishna. So if you do that, then it is considered, it is useful, or else it is considered to be a useless labor. Okay, yeah. Let's go to the next verse. 1.29. So what it says here, go little, even the English translation, Prabhu. Little, yeah, that's fine. So it's talking about whatever occupation we are doing. So that should be leading to ultimate liberation, right? So what are the four Purusharthas?
Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
Exactly. Dharma, Artha and Kama and Moksha. Moksha is the last, ultimate thing is liberation. So if you're doing a dharma, your occupation ultimately leads to liberation. Yes, there is welcome. And should never be performed for artha, the material gains. That's what it says. They should never be performed for material gains. But even if someone performs for material gains, but that should never be utilized for sense gratification. It should be used for the service of the Lord. Right. So that's what we said. We had a chart like Pavarga. Right. Anyone remembers Pavarga and Apavarga? What is Pavarga? Pa, ba, ma. Anyone remembers the first Pa?
Parishram.
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 Parishram means hard labor. So we all do hard labor. And because of hard labor, what happens? So this is the 5 steps of suffering human does, in this material world. Pa is parishrama. That means hard labor someone does. And because of that, what happens? Like if you see a donkey or a horse, if you're doing a hard labor, what happens to it? The foam foaming comes from its mouth. Similarly for us, we also become frustrated, tired, so many things, that's called fena. Fena means the foaming. So pa is parishrama. Another pa, big pa is pena. That is foaming. And then ba, what happens? Once we do the hard work and other thing, we may get some material. Then we get attached to it, right? Bondage. The ba is for banda, bondage. So you get bondage to it. And then Once we get attached to it, what happens? We always have the fear whether that will belonging, whatever belonging to us, whether it will still be with us or it will go away, right? So it's always said that Lakshmi Devi is chanchala, so she keeps on moving. So everything, whatever we have, also sometimes it goes away, right? So that becomes the bhaya. The ba is bhaya, and the end of it is mritu. Mritu means death, right? Pa ba ma. So that's called the pavarga. So that means you are the materialistically attached. So one has to be apavarga. Aparva means liberated from all these things. That's what is highlighted here. Dharmasya he parvagasya. Right. So this is what is said. So as I said, even you can go dharma, you should be attached to finally to moksha, but you can also be doing for material gains, but it should be used in the service of the Lord, not for sense gratification. If you start doing for sense gratification, what happens?
We
We
get
will
attached.
We get
get
attached. Yeah. We
We
get
will not get
bondage.
liberated. Yeah,
We
we
will
will
not
not.
get rebirth. Exactly. We be in the cycle of birth and death. We will because it's a desire. So we'll be always Krishna satisfies whatever you're desiring to be here, you get onto it. Okay, let's move on to the next one, Prabhu. So then this verse talks about what is life's true purpose. What is life's true purpose?
is to inquire about absolute truth.
And
Exactly.
live a healthy life.
Yes. So what should be the goals of one work? So one should
Krishna.
desire. So this is a couple of things it's talking, because people generally we are motivated to do things for all material gains. So it's not totally saying, but it should be limited up for self-preservation. So only one should desire only for healthy life or self-preservation. And we should be the process of enquiry. Did someone put something on the chat? Sorry.
And there's a question in the chat.
Yeah.
It says, how do we do our everyday jobs as service to Krishna?
Yeah, that's a big topic to discuss. Yeah, every work we have to dovetail in service of the Lord. Simple answer to that is. So anything we have to keep the focus not on me, but keeping Krishna, as we already discussed, keeping Krishna in the center. Focus everything. For instance, example. So we are eating something. So first we offer that to the Lord. So see, He is the enjoyer, and then we take it as prasadam. But doesn't mean that we buy something from that. We have to make something out of love for the Lord, offer it to the Lord and eat it. So everything in the service of the Lord. For instance, you have a house. So put your house in service of Krishna consciousness. You can have kirtans. You can regularly have devotees visiting your place. You can discuss about Krishna Kada. Use that in service of the Lord. If you have a car, no, you want to go to the temple, you take along some devotees along with you in service of the Lord. So everything we have to dovetail. So this simple example I'm taking, even everything we can think of, so that today's we will be mostly seeing that how important is remembering Krishna, how important. Any service you do. So I used to tell even in my previous group, like, when I log into my computer also, even my password will be something remembering Krishna. So everything we are doing such a way that we try to remember Krishna. We try to hear Krishna. And that Krishna gives within the heart as a Paramatma as you start thinking that way.
Prabhuji, I had a question.
That was your question only, I
Yeah,
think.
that was my
Yeah.
question. So like, how do we say, for example, if we're going in a meeting, in our everyday jobs, how do we remember Krishna at that time? What should be the intention behind it?
Anyone would like to answer this before I come?
We can start by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. from the mind, whatever we are doing, meeting or job, anything?
Whatever job we are doing, we can think that whatever Lakshmi we are going to earn out of it, we are going to spend that in Krishna's service.
Yeah, a portion of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good question, Mataji. But as you come along with Krishna consciousness, the more, that is why we are giving emphasis on hearing and chanting. When I told Bhakti Yoga also, one of the main process of Bhakti Yoga is hearing and chanting. Maybe probably in the previous class you would have missed, there is something called a Navavida Bhakti. There are 9 processes of devotional services we talk about. Hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So these are the main 3 important things. You hear, you chant, or you start speaking. In this, what I'm doing is Kirtan. I'm talking the glories of the Lord. And you guys are hearing it, hearing the glories. So one way is you can start hearing. There are so many nice lectures there. You can hear Kirtan, you can hear classes on that. So while you're going for work, say for instance, the train you're going, you can do your chanting, you can hear lectures, you can hear Kirtan. So that's why Prabhupada gave very strong morning program. There's 4 hours from the morning you do up to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam classes. So if you do that, the whole day you will be remembering Krishna some way or the other. So as you start practicing Krishna consciousness, now that, as I said, you guys are attending classes for 2 hours in a week. Some may attend only this, they may not have any other devotional work. Maybe they do some prayer or something, that may be 2 minutes, 5 minutes maximum. Right, so this is one which is charging. This is charges. That's why the classes people, especially when I do face-to-face classes, people say, Prabhu, after 2 hours of class, the whole week we are attacked by Maya all the time. How do we remember Krishna? So this, we have to charge ourselves. That's what is that protection, because we are so much conditioned to it. So our charging, our conditioning has to be. That's why we talk about this chanting, hearing makes us more, purify us. And then we start remembering Krishna all the time. In fact, that is the test of life. That's what Krishna says. The test of life is at the time of death, whether if you remember, you come back to me. Very simple as that. It looks very simple, but practically doing it, are we anyone able to remember Krishna at the time of death? Many devotees, we say, sometimes suddenly they would have met with an accident. So how many of them will say, Hare Krishna? They will have, whether Krishna they remember that time. So that's really the test. So it depends on how much devotional service you are putting into practice. So all these things we are doing it for practicing. So today class we will see on that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
One thing, sorry, it was something that I heard and I
Yes.
haven't applied to my life yet.
Yeah.
I'm still trying, but I've someone said, like my Shiksha Guru, he said that in the beginning, because we're, as Prabhuji said, like we're practicing through hearing, chanting, but in the beginning, like we can superficially start doing this, like every end of the day, we can just go to Krishna and be like, Krishna, I give all the phala or everything to you. This day is dedicated to you. That's it. Like
Yeah.
the whole, whatever I did, all the activities are dedicated to you.
Yeah.
And Prabhuji was saying that you may start doing it superficially. In the beginning, you might not feel it, but then maybe eventually, with more devotional service, we'll get there and it would come from our heart.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Yes, Prabhuji, that's what.
That's
Prabhuji
what.
exactly.
Initially you may not get, but as you get on. So people say, by doing what Krishna conscious is the one which is giving more happiness. But what is that happiness we are getting? So if I ask you 16 rounds of chanting, how many of you after 16 rounds of chanting, you feel, oh, some great thing is finished. If you are really happy, you will go on with the 17th round, right? But how many of us, we finish that 16 rounds taking 2 hours of our time. We feel that, oh, okay, I finished for the day, 16 rounds, right? So one day, the taste when it comes, that's where real, we are attached to Krishna. So as Mataji rightly said, we have to fake it till we make it. But to start with, that is why we say chanting is everything, as is the basis. But many people fail. They think that's one of the very simplest thing to do. What really get. if I remember one of the things, actually I wanted to share that today. I'll share it now only. So I know once I was chanting, when waiting for a bus in a bus stand, someone came in Bella Vista, real Bella Vista. Someone came and asked, "Oh, Prabhu, nice." When you see someone chanting, ordinary, they'll say, "Hare Krishna, Prabhu, nice, you're chanting." Then he spoke to me, he started talking to me, and he said, "I have a friend in India. They have been chanting for 10 years, but nothing, no progress." No progress in a sense, nothing happened. That means they're expecting something to happen by chanting. Actually, that's said to be an offense. That's a service to the Lord. So if you are expecting something, that's what we saw in this previous verse also, no? Ayatuki. So unmotivated. It should not be of any expectation. So now if you start thinking, if I think of Krishna, what happens to me? Is there anything it's going to benefit of me? In fact, someone would have made a lot of prayers and gone, you're going for an interview and you prayed to Krishna, Krishna, I should get this job, all these things, and finally you may not get this job, right? So it doesn't mean that Krishna has just left you. He has a bigger plan for you. You should take it that way. The devotee takes it that way. If I something you may be expecting, but Krishna knows this may not be suitable for you. He may plan something greater for you. But our mind is so small that we think that, oh, Krishna has left me. I've done so much bhakti. I know many people have said, especially with the health problem. We face a lot of people with having some health issues. They say, I've been devotee for so long. I've chanted so much. I've done these things. I've done this thing. But what Krishna is there? So Krishna sometimes tests all of us. It depends. He knows how much to test also. He doesn't give so much trouble to everyone. Accordingly, he tests also. He reciprocates how much we are caring for him. Like that. All right. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. We'll go to the next verse. Okay, today's topic actually is already 7:45. Today's verse we are coming. I wanted to finish at least 15 verse today. Let's see how we go. So this is another very important verse. So the previous verse had question, right? So what was that question? Kangana Mataji mentioned that. What is the true purpose of life? Is inquire about the
Absolute truth.
absolute truth. So this question is going to answer that. This verse is going to answer that. This is an important verse. I will chant and maybe all of you can repeat it. Vadanti tattva vidas
Vadanti
Vadanti
tattvavidas
tattvam yajnanam advayam
tattvam
Tattvam
yajnanam
yajnanam advayam
advayam
Parama Brahmeti Paramateti Bhagavanidi Sabdyati.
Brahmeti
Brahmeti
Paramatmeti
Paramatmeti
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Iti
Shabdete.
Shabdete.
Thank you. Can someone read it? Bhupesh Prabhu, can you read the translation?
Yes, Prabhu.
Can you
Translation.
keep scrolling, Prabhu?
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan.
Yeah, please continue with the purports quickly.
Purport: the absolute truth is both subject and object, and there is no qualitative difference there. Therefore, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan are qualitatively one and the same. The same substance is realized.
What happened? The same substance is realized as impersonal Brahman by the student of the Upanishad, as localized Paramatma by the Hiranyagarbhas or the yogis, and as Bhagavan by the devotees. In other words, Bhagavan or the personality of Godhead is the last word of absolute truth. Paramatma is the partial representation of personality of Godhead, and impersonal Brahman is the glowing effulgency of the personality of Godhead as the sun rays as the sun, to the sun god. Less intelligent student of either of the above school sometimes argue in favor of their own respective realization, but those who are perfect seers of the absolute truth know well that the above three features of the absolute truth are different perspective views seen from different angle of vision. So this verse talks about the tattva. Tattva means truth. So the three features of absolute truth is mentioned over here. What are the three features mentioned here?
Paramatma,
Brahman and Bhagwan.
Yeah,
Paramatma.
starting from Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So Brahman is considered to be the impersonal feature of the Lord. So many people, especially the Mayavadis, so for them the impersonal feature of the Lord is the topmost. That's the supreme. Right? So as I said, this Advaita philosophy, which is talking about oneness. So one of the basic simple example what they give is, if you have a balloon or a pot, right? What's there inside a balloon? There's an air inside the balloon. What is there inside a pot? Empty pot. There is nothing inside an empty pot, right? So if the balloon breaks, what happens to it? What happens to the air inside the balloon?
It escapes.
Yeah,
It
come out.
merges. There is some air outside, right? Outside the
Yeah.
balloon, there is air. It merges with that. So they say we are also like that. Our body is something like a empty pot or a balloon. So once this body, if the soul leaves the body, it merges with the Brahman. That's what they talk in oneness. Right. So that's the impersonal Brahman. Then so Brahman means the impersonal feature of the Lord. And the next level is called the Paramatma. What is Paramatma? Is the localized feature of the Lord. So generally the yogis meditate on the Paramatma, the four-handed form within the heart. Paramatma is sitting within the heart and they meditate on that. And then next level. So the first level, Brahman, basically the jnanis. So the jnanis reach the Brahman level. And the yogis, dhyana yogis, they reach the Paramatma level. They think of the Lord in the four-handed form. And the bhaktas, no, the devotees. So that's what is mentioned there, Bhagavan. The Bhagavan feature of the Lord. It's a personal feature of the Lord is Bhagavan. All right, let's go to the next passage. As it is explained in the first sloka of the chapter of Bhagavatam, the supreme truth is self-sufficient, cognizance, and free from illusion of relativity. In the relative world, the knower is different from the known, but the absolute truth and the knower and the known are the one and the same thing. In the relative world, the knower and the living spirit are superior energy, whereas the known is the inert matter or inferior energy. Therefore, there is the quality of inferior and superior energy, whereas the absolute rim, both the knower and the known are the superior energy. So there are three kinds of energies of supreme energetic. There's no difference between the energy and the energetic. And there is a difference in the quality of the energies. So what it basically means is everything is coming out of Krishna. If you see, Krishna is said to be the, what to say, the Shakti and Shaktiman. He's the Shaktiman. Everything Shakti is coming out of him. Right. So basically, there are two kinds of energies coming from out of Krishna. So anyone remember the Sanskrit term or any term for that? Two energies?
Para and apara.
Para and apara. Okay.
Is material energy and one superior energy.
Correct. What is that Sanskrit term? Antaranga and Bahiranga. Antaranga means his internal potency. Para and apara is, Krishna is beyond para and apara. One way we can say para is the, spirit and
Superior energy.
apara is inferior matter. But Krishna is neither para or apara, but that's what, yeah. So other one is Bahiranga and Antaranga. Bahiranga is external energy of the Lord and Antaranga is internal potency of the Lord. So what is our position?
Marginal.
Marginal, right? What do you?
Tatastha Shakti.
Tatastha Shakti, exactly. Perfect. So these are the three energies we are talking here. So the three kind of energies of supreme energetic. Antaranga, Bahiranga and Tatastha. So we are Tatastha. That is, we can either go to Antaranga Shakti to the so when we take shelter of the Lord, we come under Antaranga Shakti. But when we take shelter of the Maya, then we go into the Bahiranga Shakti, external energy. Bahiranga, external, and Antaranga is internal. All right, are we clear on that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So the living entity in contact with the inferior, yeah, that's what it's saying here. Inferior energy is illusion. So when we are coming under Bahiranga, Bahiranga Shakti, we are put under illusion, thinking we belong to the inferior energy. Therefore, there is a sense of relativity. So that's why material world is always in relative in terms. In the absolute, there is no such sense of difference between the knower and known, and therefore everything there is an absolute. So in the spiritual world, everything is an absolute. Let's go on to the next one, Prabhu. Next one talks is about the process of I will park your question, Prabhu. Prabhu says how to take shelter of Krishna. Again, take up bhakti, devotional practice, and then you surrender to Krishna. So straight away, someone, if you say, I want to surrender to Krishna, we don't see, we have so much of ego in our thing. We don't surrender to anyone, right? So that's why first we have to practice to surrender our humility to someone. Take a guru and then surrender to a guru. Follow the instructions, and then automatically you will get into the process, the bhakti yoga, and then you take Krishna as everything. So once you take Krishna and your life as everything, that's where you're surrendering to Krishna. There's a big process, surrendering process. There are 6 levels which is told. If you read the 18.66, the Sarva, what is that verse? Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Yeah. If in that verse, in that purport, that's fine. In the purport, Prabhupada mentioned about the process of surrender. So do things which are favorable for Krishna. Don't do things which are favorable. That is, undo things which are favorable. Think Krishna is always your maintainer. Krishna is your protector, and everything is Krishna. There's one more point there. Yeah. So 6 processes mentioned over there. So just read that purport. We'll see. This is a very short answer. Maybe next week we can discuss on this topic. We have to go through the other verses. Is that okay, Bhupesh Prabhu? I know you have some issues with your audio.
Yes, Prabhu. It's all good. Thanks.
Yeah. So 1 to 12. Yeah. Someone wants to read this verse?
I can read, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
The seriously inquisitive student or sage.
This one, try
the actual
Sanskrit word.
Sanskrit, yeah.
Anyone can read Sanskrit?
Oh,
Prashant.
try.
Yeah, please, Prabhu.
Tatshatdana munayo jnana vairagyayuktaya vashantyatmanishchatmanam satyashrutta grihitaya.
Yeah, Palak Mataji, you can read the translation.
Sure.
Can you scroll it, Prabhu?
The seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes that absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Shruti.
Yeah, please continue.
Purport. The absolute truth is realized in full by the process of devotional service to the Lord, Vasudeva, or the personality of Godhead, who is the full-fledged absolute truth. Brahman is his transcendental bodily effulgence, and Paramatma is his partial representation. As such, Brahman or Paramatma realization of the absolute truth is but a partial realization. There are 4 different types of human beings: the karmis, the jnanis, the yogis, and the devotees. The karmis are materialistic, whereas the other 3 are transcendental. The first class transcendentalists are the devotees who have realized the Supreme Person. The second class transcendentalists are those who have partially realized the plenary portion of the Absolute Person. And the third class transcendentalists are those who have barely realized the spiritual focus of the absolute person.
Okay, we'll stop here. Prabhu, can you just scroll above? We'll see this. Okay, this basic point, very important points here to be understood. So if you see, as the previous couple of 2 verses, now we talked about, so one has to inquire about the absolute truth. And previously we talked about ones who get bhakti, what happens is you get knowledge and detachment. So with that understanding, keep on the inquiry of the absolute truth, one has to, what they have to do is render devotional service. How we have to render? What they understood in the terms of Vedanta Shruti. Right? So are we clear in that? So for us, Bhagavatam is one of the commentary of this Vedanta Shruti, right? That's what Prabhupada already established. We already established that. So what in terms of Bhagavatam is mentioning about the Bhakti Yoga, that one has to inquire and participate. A serious. So this would answer some of the questions like what Bhupesh Prabhu asked and what who's that Gaurangi Mataji was asking. So as a seriously inquisitive student, so we have to get equipped with the knowledge, what is that, about inquiring about the absolute truth and rendering devotional service as guided by Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and devotees. Right? So here it's talking about 3 levels of absolute truth, which I already explained previously, like Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan realization. Right? Paramatma is a partial realization, it's mentioned. So here we are talking about 4 kinds of human being. Right? Can someone tell what are the 4 kind of human being mentioned here?
Karmi,
The
Jnani, Yogi,
Jnanis,
and
yogis,
Bhakta.
and devotees.
And devotee, bhakta. Right? So why is karmi is different from other 3?
Because they are materialistic, whereas the other 3 are transcendental.
Yes. So the jnanis is considered to be what level as per this passage? First class, second class, or third class? We talked
Second,
about 3 levels of transcendentalists, right?
third class, I think Gyanis are.
Okay, you're saying third class. Anyone else? Okay, can
Are
you
they
classify
second
this
class?
jnanis, yogis, and devotees on who are first class, second class, and third class? Because they are said to be transcendentalists, right?
Jnanis are third class,
Yeah,
yogis are second, and devotees are first.
first class. Why?
The devotees are first class because they meditate on the absolute truth, which is Supreme Lord Krishna himself. And the second class are the yogis who meditate on the Paramatma, who is the partial realization of the God. And the third class are the Gyanis who meditate on the Brahman, which is the effulgence of the Lord.
Exactly, impersonal feature. Very good. Yeah, always give a clap to her. Kangana Mataji.
Haribol.
Haribol. Yeah, thank you. Very well. Anyone has any doubt on that? Clarify, clear? Okay, let's go to the next. Okay, as from where, that we finished. As Brahman and Paramatma realization of imperfect realization of absolute truth. So the meaning of, I think again we are going on this. Let's go to the last para. Devotional service in, where's that true? Just one second. No, we finished this. Okay, devotional service is not therefore meant for less intelligent class of transcendentalist. There are 3 classes of devotees. Yeah, this is another factor. So anyone knows who are the 3 kinds of devotees we are talking?
The neophyte?
Yeah.
Kanishta Adhikari,
Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. These are the three levels of neophyte. In fact, this purport talks about the first two levels. Okay, Kanishta Adhikari are mentioned as the neophyte. That means neophyte means who are coming new to Krishna consciousness, basically. So for them, they don't consider other devotees. For them, direct contact with the Krishna. So they always deal directly with Krishna. So who have no much knowledge and not attached with material who are not detached from material association, but who are simply attracted to the preliminary process of worship of the deity in the temple, are called materialistic devotee. So they are Kanishta Adhikari or neophyte. Material devotees are more attached to material benefit than transcendental profit. Therefore, one has to make definite progress from this position of material devotional service to at least second class devotional position, that is Madhyama Adhikari. So in the second class position, the devotee has four principles in devotional line. Namely, one is personality of Godhead. He has relationship with God, he has a relationship with devotees, and he has a relationship to all people who are ignorant and also to the envious people. All right. So he develop relationship with the Lord. He develops a relationship to other devotees. The devotees, they may be superior to him. He treats them accordingly. A senior devotee, or he may take them as the Shiksha Guru and tries to get something. And similarly, there may be devotees who are just very new, neophyte devotees also. So he has more compassion to that kind of a devotees. And then there are other people also who may be ignorant, they may not have any knowledge about it. They may be not even new, they would not even come to Krishna consciousness. So he knows how to deal with that. He will have again more compassion on them. And then there may be other people, who have very totally bad picture about Krishna or anything, they are envious of Krishna. So he avoids such people. So that's what a Madhyama Adhikari does. Right, he distinguishes, he can discriminate among the people at what level they are, and he can develop relationship with them accordingly. Right, so that's about the Madhyama Adhikari. Actually, they are not talked about the Uttama Adhikari in this purport, but Uttama Adhikari will not discriminate anyone. For him, he is like a Pandita. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse? Samadarshana. He has equal vision on everyone. Right? So that is a Uttama Adhikari. But this purport doesn't talk about that. Let's go to the next paragraph. The third class devotee therefore has to receive instruction. Here the third class devotee represents the neophyte or the Kanishta Adhikari people. Therefore has to receive instruction of devotional service from authoritative source of the Bhagavata. The number one Bhagavata is establish the personality of devotee, and the other Bhagavatam is the message of the Godhead. The third class devotee therefore has to go to the personality of devotee in order to learn in the instruction of devotional service. Such personality of devotee is not a professional man who earns his livelihood by the business of Bhagavatam. Such a devotee must be a representative of Sukadeva Goswami, like Sukadeva Goswami, and must preach the cult of devotional service for the all-round benefit of all people. A neophyte devotee has very little taste for hearing from the authority. Such a neophyte devotee makes a show of hearing from a professional man to satisfy his sins. This sort of hearing and chanting has spoiled the whole thing. One should be very careful about the faulty process. The holy message of the God has inculcated in Bhagavad Gita or in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam are undoubtedly transcendental subject. But even though they are so, such transcendental matter are not to be received from a professional man who spoils them as a serpent spoils milk simply by the touch of his tongue. Okay, it's a very heavy passage. So I would, and anyone can explain. I don't want Kangana Mataji. I will give chance to others. So what does this passage talk about? It talks about the neophyte devotees. So what they should do, it's talking about that. So what should a neophyte devotee? Neophyte means one who is coming new to Krishna consciousness. So what should they do?
Prabhuji, you are asking me?
No, except you. You already got applause today. So let's try with anyone else getting applause.
They should receive instruction from an authoritative source like Bhagavad,
Yeah.
such as Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita.
Mm-hmm.
And they should also associate with other senior devotees to hear about Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. So, as Prabhu rightly said, to a new neophyte devotee, actually what they do is they would not take association of other devotees. So that's what is very important. So association, that's where the key point of association is coming here. So they will think, why to be discussing with other devotees? We should have, for me, Krishna is there. I go to Krishna. I think it's a mutual relationship between me and Krishna. Why is there another middleman? I don't want any middleman here. Right? So that's the mentality of a neophyte devotee. So that's what it is said here. Therefore, a neophyte person, a new person, has to take instruction on devotional service from authoritative source of Bhagavatam. So one is the two kind of Bhagavatam is mentioned here. One is the book Bhagavatam and other is the person Bhagavatam. Right? Therefore, has to go to a personality of a devotee in order to reveal. So Bhagavatam is there. Everyone has a Bhagavatam, right? So why do we come to this class? We don't need to come to a class, right? We all have the book. Sorry.
To understand from the proper source through disciplic succession for
Exactly.
better understanding.
Exactly. And such devotee must be representative, as you rightly said, to Parampara, to Sukadev Goswami, the Parampara to reach. So for me, I am not creating my own mental speculation. So I'm
Yes.
taking notes from different classes of people, different books written by, the Parampara. And I've heard from my Siksha Gurus, right? So that is what we pass on. And the same thing as a devotee, as you advance, you pass on to another set of people, right? So you should be coming from that and not to hear something, people, there are so many places where classes happen, we have to, what to say, there are professionalism, they do business out of these classes, running Bhagavatam classes and other thing, very professional way of doing it. And they have their own speculation from whatever they do. So the message is not passed on properly. If you see Bhagavad Gita itself, there are so many versions of Bhagavad Gita. That's why Prabhupada, his version, he is putting it as Bhagavad Gita
As it is.
as it is. So he's saying what message Krishna wants to say, that is given by Prabhupada. So that is what, as the message, what Krishna wants to convey to the people, the humanity, that's what is coming. But there are others who put their own interpretation and try to sell it. Right.
Prabhuji, I had one question. So pardon me for my ignorance. So this purport is the understanding of Prabhupada, right? So the translation, it is like what is as it is, but purport is the understanding of Prabhupada, isn't it?
Who is asking this? Sorry.
Ankit.
Ankit Prabhu. Yeah. Purport is not just understanding of Prabhupada. He is referring to all various. If you see Prabhupada's purport, he would quote so many
Yes.
Scriptures. He will quote from Baladev Vidyabhushan. He will quote from Sridhar Swami. He will quote from so many people, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So these are all people coming in the line. He will quote from Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He will quote from his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhant Thakur.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So
this is
yeah.
Inclusive of all his references, like whatever scriptures and
Exactly.
yeah.
That's what in the lineage. And not just that, if you see, if Prabhupada, is the way in which he writes this purport, if the way he has written the book, in fact, it is said that morning he gets up around 2 o'clock, 2:30, he takes bath, he does some chanting and he starts writing. And it's not that he refers to so many material and then he writes, he thinks of them, he chants, suddenly he is stuck, he chants and he writes. So in fact, Prabhupada himself has said, this is not that I have written, Krishna himself has written. And many times he will read the own purport. It may be written by him, but he will read it. And for him, it will look as though it is something new for him. So that's what he says, is Krishna himself has written.
Yeah, thank you,
Right?
Prabhu. I
Yeah,
had this
it's not
doubt,
that
so I asked.
he's not speculating on that. He writes that, he quotes that, he quotes everything.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. All right. Let's move on, Prabhu. Perfect. Yeah, a sincere devotee, therefore, be prepared to hear the Vedic scriptures like Upanishad, Vedantas, and other literature left by previous authorities or Goswamis for the benefit of his progress. Without hearing such literature, one cannot make actual progress. So that's very important, even for person, even in a Madhyam Adhikari, who already has some knowledge. It's very important for them to progress. They have to hear, they have to read scriptures. That's what is very important for that. Without hearing such literature, one cannot make progress, and without following the instruction. So therefore, devotional service is established on the principle of Shruti. Shruti means hearing.
Hearing.
Yeah. Hearing what? Puranas, Pancharatra from the authorities, and make show of devotional service. So we should not be rejected, at once rejected. We should not make a show of, I am very knowledgeable in these things. Not important. Showing off is not important. So we have to only give what message the previous acharyas or the Siksha gurus, whatever they have given, just pass it on. So any unauthorized devotee should never be recognized as a pure devotee. By assimilation of such message from Vedic literature, one can see the all-pervading localized aspect of personality Godhead with his own self constantly. This is called samadhi. All right. So the samadhi means he is totally immersed in meditation of this hearing of something, and he is engrossed in that. All right, let's go to the next one. Yeah, quickly, someone read the verse.
पुंभिर्द्विजश्रेष्ठा वर्णाश्रम विभागशः स्वनुष्ठितस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिं हरितोषणम्.
Very nice. Translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste divisions and order of life is to please the personality of Godhead.
Yeah. Purport, Prabhu. Then we'll discuss. Go ahead.
All right, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, human society all over the world is divided into 4 castes and 4 orders of life. The 4 castes are the intelligent caste, the martial caste, the productive caste, and the laborer caste. These castes are classified in terms of one's work and qualifications and not by birth. Then again, there are 4 orders of life, namely the student life, the householder's life, the retired, and the devotional life. In the best interest of the human society, there must be such divisions of life. Otherwise, no social institution can grow in a healthy state. And in each and every one of the above mentioned divisions of life, the aim must be to please the Supreme Personality, the Supreme Authority of the Personality of Godhead. This institutional function of human society is known as the system of Varnashrama Dharma, which is quite natural for the civilized life. The Varnashrama institution is constructed to enable one to realize the absolute truth.
Okay, Prabhu, we'll stop here. Yeah. So we already discussed this topic, right? This is about the Varna and Ashram, the 4 classes. There's intelligent classes are the Brahmanas, the martial caste are the Kshatriyas, the productive caste are the Vaishyas, and the laborer caste are the Shudras. So again, I think last time Bhupendra Prabhu also asked this question, Bhupesh Prabhu. So these castes are classified in terms of one's work and qualification and not by birth. Right? So Bhagavad Gita also Krishna mentions that. So reference is 4:13, chapter 4, 13th verse is on this. Chaturvarnya Maya Shistram. So you can read that verse. So and then also talks about the 4 order of lives, namely the Brahmacharya, student's life. What's happening, bro? Oh, you're going to that. Okay. So namely the student's life, the householder, Grahastha life, and the retired, that is Vanaprastha life, and the sannyasi, devotional life. So that is Varna and Ashram. So the Varna, aim of Varna and Ashram should be what? The aim must be to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not for sense gratification. That's what is highlighted. So which we already seen, which is quite natural. The institution function, the Varnashram is constructed to enable one to realize the absolute truth. So that's the purpose of Varna and Ashram, which is created by Krishna himself. All right, let's move. So when the aim of life, that is realization of absolute truth, is missed by too much attachment for indriya priti or sense gratification. So the term used is indriya. Indriya means sense. Priti means you love to gratify your sense. Whatever your senses require, we are doing that. So if our aim of life is attached to sense gratification, already discussed, the institution of Varnashrama Dharma is utilized by selfish men to pose an artificial predominance over the weaker section. In the Kali Yuga or the age of coral, this artificial predominance is already current, but the saner section of people don't know it well, that the division of caste and order are meant for the smooth social intercourse and high thinking self-realization and not for any other purpose. Hence the statement in Bhagavatam is that the highest aim of life or the highest perfection of Varnashra Dharma is to cooperatively, jointly for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. This is also confirmed in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 4:13th verse. Yeah, it's going beyond the scope of discussing this 4:13 now. So you can read. No, Prabhu, you want to discuss this? Chaturvarnya Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhaksha. So according to 3 modes of material nature, the work associated with them, the 4 division of human societies are created by me. And although I am creator, you should know that I am not under that. Your Krishna says, I am the creator of Varnashra Dharma, but I am not part of it. I am beyond it. Krishna transcendental to it. Yeah, we'll go back to our chapter, Prabhu. Any questions on this? Varnashra, I think we already discussed on this topic so many times. And in fact, if anyone is interested to know more about Varnashra Dharma, in chapter 9, I think, chapter 9, 26th verse of the first canto, Bhishma Dev is talking about this to Yudhishthir Maharaj. So you can read that purport. Prabhupada gives a very detailed explanation of what is the role of Brahmana, what is the role of Kshatriya, all those things. So 1:9:26. Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's go to 1:14. Tasmad ekena manasa Bhagavan satvatan pati Shrotaive kritvacha dene pujaya cha nityate. So therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember and worship the personality of Godhead who is the protector of devotee. So this is a very important verse, is the conclusion of all this section from starting from 8 to 13. This just summarizes what has to be done. So there are so many questions today people raised, what a devotee should do, what I should be doing, like how to surrender to Krishna. So this is one of the answer to that. So here it's saying we have to have one pointed attention. One should constantly hearing someone glorifying Krishna. One should constantly hear, and we have to glorify Krishna. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, and remembering that. That's what happened. Remembering and worship, Archanam. So this is the four. Out of the 9 bhaktis, 4 bhakti, Navavidha bhakti. There are 4 bhaktis. Process is mentioned here. Who is the protector of devotee? So anyone remembers this is Ekena Manasa. So Ekena Manasa is referring to the one pointed attention. So we have some Bhakti Shastri students. So in Bhagavad Gita, one of the verses talking about that. One pointed attention. Anyone remembers that verse? Clue is it is in the 2nd chapter.
Ekeha Kurunandana.
Exactly, no. That is what is the starting. Ekena Kurunandana. What you said is correct. Vivasayatmika buddhi.
Vyavasayika
Vivasayatmika
buddhi
buddhi.
Ekeha
Ekeka
Kurunandana.
Kurunandana. Yeah, 241. No, we're not going to read it now. Just refer it, note it, and try to link that verse with this.
Okay.
All right. Go to the purport, Prabhu. So if anyone wants to read the purport, who has not read today?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, I can read.
Yes, yeah. No, Mataji asked before you, Vikas Prabhu. Yeah, we give her a chance.
If realization of the absolute truth is the ultimate aim of life, it must be carried out by all means. In any one of the above mentioned caste or an order of life, the 4 processes, namely glorifying, hearing, remembering, and worshipping, are general occupations. Without these principles of life, no one can exist. Activities of the living being involve engagements in these 4 different principles of life. Especially in modern society, all activities are more or less dependent on hearing and glorifying. Any man from any social status becomes a well-known man in human society within a very short time if he is simply glorified truly or falsely in the daily newspapers. Sometimes political leaders of a particular party are also advertised by newspaper propaganda, and by such a method of glorification, an insignificant man becomes an important man within no time. But such propaganda by false glorification of an unqualified person cannot bring about any good, either for the particular man or for the society. There may be some temporary reactions to such propaganda, but there are no permanent effects. Therefore, such activities are a waste of time. The actual object of glorification is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has created everything manifested before us. We have broadly discussed this fact from the beginning of the Janmadi Asya Shloka of this Bhagavatam. The tendency to glorify others or hear others must be turned to the real object of glorification, the Supreme Being, and that will bring happiness.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what should be the ultimate aim of life? Can you scroll down, Prabhu?
Samsiddhim Haritoshanam.
Yeah, actually that's very important. Actually, I missed out that previous verse talked about that Sam Siddhim Hari, we told only personality. So Sham Siddhir Hari Toshanam. Prad, can you first go back to Prabhu that verse? Verse 13. On top that word to word meaning also you show that also. Yeah. So Sam Siddhir. So the highest perfection one has to be is to remember Hari. Hari Toshanam is to please Hari. Toshana means pleasing. And Hari, anyone knows what is the meaning of Hari? Lord Hari.
Who is still all the pains of devotees.
Who takes away all our sins.
Yeah, sins.
So Hari take Hari. That's why actually in Sri Vaishnava they say, when you get up early in the morning, I try to do this sometimes. At least 7 times you call out the name of Hari. First thing you do in the morning is 7 times you call Hari, 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 Hari. So Krishna Hari is the one who takes away all our sins. So here Sutta Goswami says the highest perfection one has to do is the personality of God, pleasing the Lord Hari. Yeah, let's go to the 14th. Yeah. So 14th verse, it talks about now we should know what our aim of life. Our aim of life, we get so much frustration. We don't get promotion. We don't get this. We don't get that. Another thing, and we work or we attain that as the goal of life. Someone wants to make buying a Tesla car goal of life, or a Porsche car goal of life, or having a house in one of the posh area. So these are all temporary. That can be there. But our first aim, the highest priority is one pointed attention we have to give, and our aim should be to realize the absolute truth. Right? So that's what Prabhupada mentions in the purport. If realization of absolute truth is the ultimate area of life, it must be carried out by all means. So that's why prioritize your work. That what is your priority? First thing is, and the process is given here. This is what I wanted to mention that Retu Mataji was asking. What is the scientific process? Hearing, glorifying, remembering, and worshipping. So 4 processes mentioned here. Without these principles in life, no one can exist. Activities of living being involve engaging in 4 different type of sins, especially in modern societies. So if you see today, practically if you see, there are so many things we keep hearing. There are so many newspapers, so many news channel and debates, so many things keep on going on. We keep abreast of all these things. We hear all these things, but how much benefit are we getting out of them? Is there anything? One of the sannyasi or Guru Maharajas who come here, they'll say, what is the purpose of hearing so many news? If the real news, if you require that, it will automatically come to you, which is going to affect you. It automatically you will get it to know, rather than keep on watching this news channels and swapping over them, right? Political news and other things. So hearing and glorifying, you see, there are so many people glorify. We know people glorify the politicians. They call bhakts. They are devotees of this politician, or even celebrities. There are so many celebrities. There are so many people are crazy after them. They are glorifying them. But is there anything? Even the celebrity will not bother for all his devotees or his fans. The fan base. Right? But the same thing, if you glorify Krishna, Krishna will reciprocate. So simply redirect all your glorification, what you're doing for someone, a politician or a celebrity or anything, but to the Supreme Lord, that actually brings the real happiness. And that's the true what we are talking. We are not doing any false propaganda. If you are glorifying a celebrity, it may be a false propaganda for some motivation. You're trying to do something. But really, if you do glorifying the Lord, in fact, there are so many purification takes place both internally and externally for you. You get purified, right? Ultimately, you end up for the liberation, right? You go in serving the Lord. All right. So we read this. Anyone wants to add any point before we go on to the next verse? Okay, let's go to the next one. So I don't know who wants to read the next verse. Ankit, Prabhu, you want to try?
Yes, Prabhu. Yad anudhyasena yukta karma granthi nibandhanam chidanti govidas ko na kuryat kathadatim.
Translation.
Yeah, Prabhu. With sword in hand, intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message?
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The should I read this, Prabhu?
Yeah, please.
The contact of the spiritual spark with material elements creates a knot which must be cut if one wants to be liberated from the actions and reactions of fruitive work. Liberation means freedom from the cycle of reactionary work. This liberation automatically follows for one who constantly remembers the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead. This is because all the activities of the Supreme Lord, His Leela, are transcendental to the modes of the material energy. They are all attractive spiritual activities, and therefore constant association with the spiritual activities of the Supreme Lord gradually spiritualizes the conditioned soul and ultimately severs the knot of material bondage.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So what is this passage talking? Any point from you?
It is talking like one who always remember the pastimes of God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, uh, and with the constant association of the Lord, gradually spiritualizes the entire soul
Yeah.
and liberates from the bondage, material bondage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. So the key point here is talking about, the actions and reactions of fruitive work. What does that mean?
Sin and punya.
Yeah, in one word,
Karma.
karma, exactly.
Karma.
Looking for that word karma. So here it's saying your karma can be cut. So if you take Bhagavad Gita, there are 5 topics, right? All of us know there are 5 topics discussed in Bhagavad Gita. 4 are eternal. One of the topic is karma. So the karma is the only thing can be changed. So you can change your karma by doing akarma, doing devotional work, right? So that's what it's saying. How is the devotional work we are talking? Just by remembering. So what is the sword here is mentioning? So with the sword in hand. So all of us have the sword, right? Remembering Krishna. Is it? Can we have? Can we remember Krishna? How difficult it is? Is it difficult or very easy?
Easy. I think.
Easy?
It is
Not
actually very
not
difficult.
I think I
24
have to
hours.
put a poll for
Because
that.
of Maya.
Huh?
Because of Maya Devi, it's very difficult.
I mean,
Gaurandi
not
Mataji, are you listening? This is one of
hours.
the questions which you asked. So how difficult it is for us to remember. So that's why 4 processes mentioned, right? What are the 4 processes mentioned here? In the previous verses.
Hearing,
Yeah, first is
hearing,
hearing,
glorifying,
glorifying,
Varnam
remembering, and
Kirtanam.
worshipping.
remembering, and worshipping.
Yeah.
So out of these 4, can you classify them under 2 categories? Anyone can classify anyway? Is hearing, is it dependent on anything else? Yes, no?
Yeah, we have to hear from a bona fide
You can
guru.
hear from someone, you have to hear, right? So it is dependent, right? It's an
Yes.
external thing, right? Then glorifying. You are glorifying, you need someone else also there. Like you have to go before a deity and you glorify the deity, right? Or you glorifying a devotee. So again, it's an external. Worshipping. What is it? It is external or internal?
Internal can be also done.
No, internal in the mind also we can do, but that becomes what?
Remembering.
That becomes remembering.
Mm.
So worship, you do an archana, you do arati. It is something in external activities. Hearing is an external activity, and glorifying is external activity. So this has some dependency. Someone is not hearing, then why I should glorify, or something like that. But remembering is an internal. No one can stop you from remembering, right? So that can be done. So that sword is within your hand. So with the sword is already you are having in your hand, right? So such person having that tool, that sword, they can bind the karma, the reactions, whatever they have done, just by remembering the Lord. Then who will not pay attention to the message? That's the question. Sukadeva Goswami asking the sages. Therefore, who will not pay attention? But one thing is very important is, unless you hear, unless you glorify, unless you worship, you can't be remembering, right? So that also has to be there. The process of hearing should be there. The process of worshipping should be there. All these things help you to more remember Krishna. All right. So that's why. So this ultimately leads to the liberation. So once we are free from the cycle of sar karma, that's all. So we are liberated. This is because of all the activities of Supreme, and then we become transcendental. I think Prabhu already covered this. So we also because Krishna is transcendental to all these things, we are associated to him, then we are also becoming transcendental. So as I said, we are under the Antaranga Shakti. We'll be toward the internal potency of the Lord. So we get transcendental. So liberation from material bondage is therefore a byproduct of devotional service. So that's why it is said a devotee doesn't always, go for liberation. He is more interested in doing devotional service. It's actually a byproduct. Prabhupada mentioned. I usually mention this example, if someone is, doing an exercise, can you know anyone who does an exercise for sweating out? Is there anyone does exercise for sweating? Yes, no?
No, Prabhuji, no one does
No
for
one
us.
does exercise for sweat. But if you do exercise, does you sweat or do you sweat or not?
Sweat itself, yeah.
Yeah, you will sweat, right? But you wanted to make your body fit, you are doing exercise, right? That was the purpose of doing it. But you still get sweat.
Sweat.
It is similarly, if we do devotional service to the Lord, our liberation automatically comes. It's like the sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Our liberation, you don't need to focus on how to sweat, why I should be sweating out. Liberation automatically comes, but you do devotional service.
It's like buy one, get two free, like that.
Exactly. It's a byproduct of it. So attainment of spiritual knowledge is not sufficient to ensure liberation. Such knowledge must be overcoated by devotional service so that the ultimate devotional service alone predominates. Then liberation is made possible. Even the karma of fruitive workers can lead one to liberation when it is overcoated with devotional service. So it is said even, a karmi, if he's a kind of a person, can get liberation by doing devotional service. So karma overcoated by devotional service is called karma yoga. Similarly, the empirical knowledge overcoated by devotional service is called jnana yoga. So here the definitions of each of the yoga is mentioned here. But pure bhakti yoga is independent of such karma and jnana, because it alone can only endow one with liberation from conditioned life, but also award one to the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Therefore, a sensible man who is above average with a poor fund of knowledge must constantly remember personality of Godhead by hearing about him, by glorifying him, by remembering him, and by worshipping him. So if you take this as today's takeaway, then you become what kind of a person? A sensible person, an intelligent person. Prabhupada, that's what he mentions. So that's the perfect way of devotional service. The Goswamis of Vrindavan, who are authorized by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach the Bhakti cult, rigidly followed this rule and made immense literatures of transcendental science for our benefit. They have chalked out ways of our classes of men in terms of different caste and order of life in pursuance of teaching of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and similar other authoritative scriptures. Hare Krishna. Any question before we move on to the next sequence? 16 to 21 is the process of bhakti. Just hold on, Prabhu. I want to share a couple of slides before we go on to this. So I'm going to park your screen. Anyone, any reflection? Not a question. Anyone want to share anything meantime when I'm setting up things on the topic discussed? No question or any reflections?
Prabhu, in Krishna consciousness, how we do the entertainment or recreational activities?
Yeah, that's a big topic. You can put that question on that. How to do recreation activities. So recreation activities coming under what category, Prabhu? Is it pleasing Samsiddha Hari Toshanam or your Toshanam? Whose Toshanam? Who is it pleasing?
Manoranjan.
That's what's confusing.
What is
Because
confusion about there?
because recreational activities is to freshen up us, but if we get freshen up, then we can able to do more services. It's an indirect way, but not directly. But if we do putting Krishna in the center, how
Yeah.
can we do? Means,
So
are we
what?
allowed to
Give
watch
one
movies?
example of
Or,
what recreation you're talking about.
maybe I want
Music?
to go for hiking or for entertainment. Why I want to watch a movie? Are we allowed to do so? If yes, then how we put Krishna in center of that?
You watch some movie related to Krishna consciousness. Simple as that.
Okay.
Narsimha movie came, right? Have you watched it?
Sorry,
There was a movie on,
Narsimha, Prabhu?
yeah.
Yeah,
What
Prabhu, I
was that movie?
shortlisted Narsimha, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mahavatar Narasimha.
Mahavatar. No, if you are a
From
music lover, you can go to the kirtan parties. So where we are glorifying Krishna. Like if you are a food lover, you can go to the feast, Sunday feast. Go see Lord, have the Sunday feast. Or where, especially if there are any, there are a lot of feast goes on. There are festivals happening. Next Friday is Ram Navami. Go attend the feast. Enjoy that food. Go have the dance. Go have the darshan movie. See the Lord. That's the movie. Darshan of the Lord. What great movie we can have. All this movie, if you take, it is all coming, the root story is from Krishna. Any story, if you take, Krishna is the main hero. All these are all real heroes. The real hero is Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. So that kind of a mentality starts coming as you start the topic of hearing, glorifying, remembering, and worshipping Krishna. If you are regularly on this, so this next set of verses we are going to talk about that. How one can progress in bhakti. We are talking about the progressing in bhakti. Right? Anyone knows how to progress in bhakti? The stages of progress? I think if I tell, all of you will know that, yeah?
These four which we have learned just now: hearing, remembering, glorifying.
No, that's related to the Navabhida Bhakti, you know. We talked about 9 types of devotional service, but there are different stages in which one has to progress in bhakti. How does one come to bhakti? First topic. How does one come to Krishna consciousness? How did you come to Krishna consciousness?
By hearing.
Yeah, that's again a process, but
Having
just by
faith.
hearing, will you come?
Prabhuji, it is
There are so
Having
many
faith.
things we
things you're
hear.
talking about.
Association.
The
Just by the mercy of Krishna.
Arth Gyani, Artho Arthati Gyani Jigyasu.
Yeah, but that is a motivation bhakti, you know.
Having faith. Yes.
Faith.
Ado Shuddha
Artha
Dado.
means what? One who is in a distress. One who is distress comes to Krishna.
Yeah.
Artharthi means one who wants wealth come to
Material.
Krishna. Then what is the other thing?
Is it faith?
Gyani for knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah. I'm not talking about that. No, I'm talking about the stages in which once. No, we talk about what is the ultimate goal of Krishna consciousness?
Prema Bhakti.
Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti. Exactly.
Artha bhav and prem that you
Prema
are
means
talking about.
love, the pure love for the God. So how many of us got the pure love for God? For Krishna?
We are trying to get.
Gopi, we are all trying to be, but there will be a starting point, right? Everyone starts from somewhere. So what's the starting point? That's my question.
Shraddha.
Exactly.
Faith.
Shraddha, faith. Someone comes to Krishna just by having a little faith. You're not steady. You have so many doubts in your mind. All of us come through the process. When I started Krishna consciousness 10 or 12 years back, I had so many doubts. When people I used to listen to the class, you know, I never myself committed to what they were saying. So I used to think, oh, when I used to share with my family or wife, oh, they are saying like that, they are saying like this. So I am a third person kind of a thing. We have so many doubts in our life, right? Because especially people coming from Indian background, we already have some kind of, you know, the way in which we are brought up from the childhood. You know, people say you have to pray to God and then only God gives you for your education, your job, everything. You know, that's how we have been taught. I don't know. There may be someone who are already born in a devotee family. They would have been little different. But we are all general kind of people. You know, we come under that kind of a category. Right. But when I came into Krishna consciousness, met a devotee, you know, I found totally different the way in which I was understanding what is bhakti. So in fact, bhakti means one which is done only to Krishna, we can say it is bhakti. I would categorize that way. So one who is serving the devotional service. Like Prashant Prabhu rightly said, it is Shraddha. Shraddha is the basic. So Shraddha to Prema, that's the transition. The transition process one has to go. How does one transform from Shraddha to Prema? So this next 16 to 21 verse is going to talk about that. But since, you know, most of us, how many of you know that process? It's a 9-stage process. Anyone knows that? So I thought I will give first introduction on that. Probably the verses we can see it's just another 10 minutes. I will try to give the introduction on that and the verses we will see. I wanted to finish up to 21 verse at least today. But Prashant Prabhu, you had some question or you wanted to answer something?
No, Prabhuji, that shloka I was telling about, Ado Shraddha, Tado Sadhu Sang, Atha Bhajan Kriya, Tatho Anartha Nivritti Syat, Tato Nishtha Ruchis Tatha.
Exactly.
Atha Shaktis, Tato Bhavas, Tata Prema Bhakti Uchati.
Very nice. You very nicely memorized that verse. Please give a clap for him.
Very good.
So whatever verse Prabhu has mentioned is there on your screen now. So Adau Shatta, Tato Shadu Sangha, Ato Bhajana Kriya, Tato Anartha Nivirti, Sat Tato Nishta Ruchi Tata, Ashakti Tu Bhava, Tata Prema Achinta, Sada Kanam Nayam Premana, Prabhuvade Bhavet Krama. So these are the 9 stages, progressive stage of bhakti one goes through. So this is the verses from Nectar of Devotion. And it's also covered in Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Shraddha means faith, the little faith. Next level is Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. Someone not know, you can make your notes also on this. And then that is next level is Bhajana Kriya. So let's first talk Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivirti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. So this is the 9 stages. Can you all see my screen? Haribol?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So actually, this is a big topic. Many seminars have there. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written a book called Madhurya Kadambini. In that he describes this in very much detailed. In fact, we are talking about 9 stages. In fact, it is a miniature. It is actually a 14 stage. It is actually a 14 stage, but more popular is this 9 stages. So Shraddha, faith means is the preliminary desire for self-realization. So up to now we saw what is the main aim of our goal of a life should be?
Krishna Prema.
Yeah. First to inquire about the absolute truth, right? And get that Krishna Prema. Samsiddhir Hadi Toshanam, to please Krishna. Right. So when we are taking once that is the ultimate is Krishna Prema. Like first we have to start somewhere is Shraddha, some faith for self-realization. Now I want to know who I am, why all these things, right? Self-realization. Then the next level one we have to do is one who is advancing. You know, the faith you can have, but you're not done anything towards that, you don't progress at all. So the next point is Sadhu Sangha. Get into the association of devotees. So this is one of the process, like how we are sitting here. This is one of the association. It's not, we should not limit ourselves to this Friday evening 2 hours class. No, wherever possible, we should try to get association of devotees. Right? So that is very important. So association with saintly persons. And what that does is, it gets away from our other non-association. It doesn't mean that association of devotion, you have a lot of devotee friends and we all go to a movie. That's not said to be an association. Maybe you can movie related to Krishna consciousness, which rarely come. There's movies on Prabhupads have come. Then Avatar, that
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movie.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movie. And there may be a lot of, if you take some 50 years back, you know, there were so many movies which were mostly on devotees. In different languages you would have seen, you know, there are Mahabharata, there are Ramayana, other things are there. Right. So anything related to that, anything where Krishna is in the center, then that kind of, what to say, recreation activities are always good. So association, then Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya actually means practice, performance of devotional service. So at this stage, one comes under the instruction of a devotee, under guidance of a guru, and engages in devotional activities. So hearing, chanting, remembering, all this, whatever we are discussing. So this is something called Bhajana Kriya. How that is happening on your own, you cannot happen. Unless you come to association, unless you have some Siksha Guru, unless someone you take them as a Guru and then following the instructions. So that's very important. That's the process of Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya is basically practice. That it is a more repetitive practice. It is not that I do chanting one day and I do Archana one day. You know, that's not it's a repeatable process. So all those repeatable process are being taken care under Bhajana Kriya. And the next stage, what happens is the purification process. It's called Anarthas. Anartha Nivirti. Nivirti means clearing stage. Anarthas means unwanted attachment or qualities which we have within our heart and which we have within our habit. Now, these are all unwanted habits which is reduced. So at this stage, majority of them get cleared. Actually, anarthas are there, right? Even before we get into Shraddhas, all of us have anarthas. We are so much conditioned soul. And even once we get the faith, you start, leaving away some of the anarthas. And once you get into the association, okay, once we come into the association, they say we have to follow some regulative principles, like no meat eating or no gambling, no illicit sex. What is the other one?
No intoxication.
No intoxication, yes. So someone say you should not be eating onion, garlic, all these kind of a thing, or just by association itself, all these unwanted bad habits or bad things start going away. At this stage of anartha nivritti, majority of them are cleared. But still our anarthas keeps on going up to the bhava stage. It is said anarthas are there. There may be a light tinge of anartha still in the bhava stage. Once we attain the prema stage, that's where totally all our anarthas are gone. But majority of them are cleared in this stage of the anartha nivritti. So once we get purified, that's when it's said to be nishtha. Nishtha means steady in Krishna consciousness. It's a strong faith. So we started with Shraddha. The Shraddha is a very doubtful, fickle-minded, whether we continue, not, whether I come for the class, no, like that. It goes on. But once you cross the stage of Anartha Nivritti, there is Nishtha. I can go on Anartha Nivritti itself. We can take a separate class. Like, there are so many Anarthas. Like, Anarthas can happen due to material enjoyment, right? Sense gratification is one of the Anarthas. So, trying to keep our senses we're doing, these are all Anarthas, which is not going to help our any progress in spiritual consciousness. We want to be spiritual. It is like, if someone is having some disease, for that, they are a diabetic patient, to cure the disease, can someone keep eating various types of sweet? It will only increase that. It's not going to cure that. It is like that. If you're going to do, you want to be treated for that disease, you have to avoid that. So you want to be spiritual life, then we have to regulate our sense enjoyment. So what it happens is, it creates our sense enjoyment, helps us, puts us in a position of, asking for more fame, more prestige, more control. So these are different kind of anarthas which is happening. And even anarthas we can get due to piety. Oh, sorry, it's already 9:02. I think I'll finish in another couple of minutes. Sorry for that. I didn't watch the time. So I will stop here for anarthas. Then nishtha is steadiness. So steadiness is the higher, strong faith. So you cannot be shaken anymore. So you're firmly stitched there. And then we talked about, you get real ruchi, the taste in doing Krishna consciousness, the taste in chanting, the taste in hearing, the taste in doing archana, the taste in serving the devotees. All these things you start getting the real ruchi. You might get that in the previous stage also, but at this level it will be more, right? If someone gets the real taste, he's not going to leave it. So that's where he goes to the next level. He goes, something is ashakti. He gets attached to that particular thing. He gets detached to all other materialistic kind of thing, but he is more attached to the taste, and deep attachment happens. So one simple example we can say, the gulab jamun, most of us like that, the ruchi of gulab jamun. So if I take gulab jamun, I like the taste, so I keep on eating it. Maybe we can eat some 4 5 or something, but real the taste, we know that. So I like that ruchi. And what is the difference between ruchi and asakti is, ashakti is you will search for the taste. You will find out, where do I get that gulab jamun? I want to get it. Whereas in ruchi, the gulab jamun comes to you and you eat it. Whereas asakti stage, you look for the item where you're getting that ruchi, the taste. So you go towards it and you perform that. So that's what you get attached to devotional work. And then once at that level, afterwards is the bhava, is the emotional stage, emotional love stage, or the preliminary love stage. So here your heart's softened, you're having a lot of feeling and longingness for Krishna. Such ecstasy is shown, no? The crying of ecstasy for the Lord, missing the Lord. So there's the emotional transformation happens there. And the last is the pure love of Krishna. That's the highest stage. That's the perfect stage. So that's a very irreversible stage. And it's said to be a stage of equilibrium stage where, you have the pure love for Krishna. All right, I will stop here. Sorry, I've gone 5 minutes over the time. So this is just, I thought I'd give a preview of what's coming in the verses 16 to 21. So we will see each of those verses are at which level. So try to note down this and contemplate on this 9 progressive stages, Shraddha to Prema. All right, any reflections, any questions, you can put it on the chat so that we can take up next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.